welcome to this episode of the Genealogy Roundup. So today I just wanted to cover a few different topics, not so much as last time because things have quietened down a bit. Just a few things that I wanted to chat about today, and I'm feeling a little bit cheeky, so hopefully you'll enjoy this episode, but if you're easily offended, maybe turn off now. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about is the C word. I'm gonna write it because I don't want to say it. I feel like we are all so tired of hearing this word because every time we turn on the television or the news or Twitter or Facebook or anything, this word is all over the place. And that's not to say that it's not important, but I'm sure that you'd all like a break from it. So I'm just gonna write it there and, you know, this is what we're talking about. Because of this C word, a lot of the genealogy libraries and archives are closing, and a lot of the conferences and seminars and things like that are being cancelled. So really, I just wanted to recommend that if you're headed out to any of the libraries or archives, or if you're booked into any conferences or seminars or events, make sure that you double check with the events coordinators to make sure that they're still going ahead, and use your own precaution as well. Like, I'm not going to give you any medical advice, not a doctor. But these are crazy times, so just make sure that you're prepared and you don't turn up to an event that's been cancelled, or make a long trip to an archive and then find out that they're closed. But meanwhile, there are so many things that we can do while we're at home anyway. So there are, of course, a lot of webinars that are still going ahead. A lot of the seminars have been changed to webinars, and there are even sort of older ones that you could go back and look at. So for example, Roots Tech, you can still go and get the virtual pass and go and look back at those if you haven't already, if you didn't already attend. And there are plenty online, plenty on YouTube, or you can go back and watch all of Kindred Genealogy's videos, and make sure that you also hit the subscribe button so that you won't miss any of my future videos. I feel like as genealogists, we're pretty prepared for something like this because we're good at just sitting at home and doing a whole lot of research. So take this time to delve back into your family tree and do some research, because why not? While everything's shut, while events are being cancelled, this is the perfect time to work on your family tree. All right, the next thing that I wanted to talk about was St. Patrick's Day. That's coming up this week, and all of our Irish friends are going to be celebrating. So I thought I'd let you know also that a lot of the Ancestry websites are having St. Patrick's Day specials. Like, I know that Ancestry DNA kits are on sale, a St. Patrick's Day special, and Family Tree DNA also are having specials. So if you're considering getting a DNA kit or a new subscription, you should definitely shop around at the moment, because a lot of these companies are doing St. Patrick's Day specials. Please let me know in the comments below if you will be celebrating St. Patrick's Day, if you're Irish or even if you're not. The parade in Sydney is supposed to be going ahead, so best wishes to everyone who's attending. I hope you all have a blast. So after discussing the C word, I thought we would move on to the F word. So this is a story that's been kind of around for a while, but it feels like over the last few weeks it was ramping up a bit. I saw a few videos cropping up about it and blog posts, and definitely Twitter was ablaze with it, but that's Twitter, right? There's always something. Anyway, I wasn't really going to say anything about it because personally I kind of thought it was silly. But since it seems to have become such a big hot topic, I thought I should at least mention it in the roundup. So when I saw the first video about this, because I thought it was kind of hilarious. I'm sorry to anyone who's taking this really seriously. So FindAGrave is apparently a problem now. I'm not particularly kind of reactionary. I don't really easily get offended, and I certainly never even thought of this acronym before, but once people started sort of seriously talking about it, I thought it was hilarious. Anyway, the story goes that a lot of people are trying to change the name of FindAGrave because they find the acronym offensive when it is written. Or maybe spoken. I don't know if people are saying it aloud, but I imagine it's mainly being written. I don't know if this is a cultural difference. Like, I don't know that Australians would be quite as upset by this. Is it a cultural thing maybe? But I mean, I know that it's a word with multiple meanings and it could be used in an offensive way, of course, but from my viewpoint, I sort of think words in themselves aren't really bad. It's always the meaning behind them, context, things like that. So if someone is referencing where they found their great-grandfather's grave and they write that acronym as their source, are people actually honestly going to get that mistaken for sort of homophobic? There's no way anyone's going to mistake that. Like, the context is going to say it all, right? So I don't really see what the problem is. I realize, of course, this is going to make me unpopular with some people, but oh my gosh, aren't there worse things in the world than an acronym that kind of bugs you? Like I said, you can always tell the difference. I mean, somebody screaming abuse in the street versus somebody referencing where their great-grandfather's grave was located. Is there really going to be any confusion? And if it's being said in reference to FindAGrave, I really don't see how that could be offensive to anyone. Like, what exactly is offensive about it? Like, I'm sorry if you're offended, but I feel that offense in this case is something that is taken, not given. So if somebody takes offense to something, that doesn't mean that the person was giving offense or that they meant to give offense. So if you take offense to a word but nobody intended offense, then that's your problem, your personal problem. That doesn't mean that FindAGrave has to go and change its name, or everyone else on the planet has to use the acronym that you prefer. I mean, don't you think that's a little bit selfish to expect the whole world to change just because you personally felt offended by a word? Like, there's heaps of words that I hate. And one of the suggestions that cropped up for what FindAGrave should become is a word that I really hate. So one of the suggestions was to change it to Find a Memorial. I have multiple problems with this one, but just skipping past that and looking at the word itself, fam, it really bugs me when people say fam, like in conversation, like, hey fam. Like, what is that? Fam. Ugh. Anyway, it's not an evil word or a bad word or whatever. It's not an offensive word, and nobody intends offense, so whatever. Like, I can't stop anyone from using it, but gee, it grates on my nerves when people say it. But I don't get to like tell everyone that they can't use it because it bugs me. Like, sorry, I'm just gonna have to live with that. I can either grow to love the word or I can just ignore it. We all just have to grow up a bit and stop expecting the world to change just because something bugs us. I also have heard the argument that this word has, you know, this word is the reason that people have been beaten. This word is the reason that people have been killed or discriminated against or whatever. And they're wrong, because this word isn't the cause of those things. Somebody isn't beaten or killed or discriminated against because of a word. It's because of who they are or what they are and what people perceive them to be. And of course, that's wrong. That's like, that just goes without saying that that's terrible. So there's no point in saying that a word caused it. A word didn't cause it. It's much, much bigger than that. And you could eliminate that word from language altogether and there would still be discrimination and, you know, injustice in the world. So pretending like, you know, this word is the whole cause behind all these terrible things is... So at the risk of a lot of you being cross with me, I'm going to argue that it isn't necessary for FindAGrave to change its name just because the acronym bothers you. You don't have to use the acronym, and when other people do, you should probably just grow up and realize that they aren't intending offense. Just look at the context. Just look at the context, and is what they're saying a homophobic remark, or is it just a reference to where they got their information from? And if it's the latter, then what is the problem? Alright, I've probably sufficiently annoyed some of you, and maybe some of you are amused. I'm still amused. I'm sorry that some of you are upset by it, but no offense given, so please don't take any. Yeah, not to point any fingers, but I think this is the dumbest story that I've seen with regards to genealogy, like, ever. It was hilarious. I mean, okay, serious now. So one more thing that I thought that I would mention before I leave, and hopefully if any of you are still watching because you haven't clicked off this video in annoyance, I recently did a review of the website Clanview, and if you haven't seen it, I will link it up above. It is such a good website, and I had so much fun using it. It allows you to build three-dimensional models of your family tree, and it's amazing in how it allows you to share it with your relatives and friends. I highly, highly recommend that any of you who haven't yet tried it, go ahead and give it a go. If you're doing a tree with up to 250 people, it's free, so you can go and just try it out before you try any subscriptions or anything like that. But yeah, go and check out my video above and check out clanview.com. Okay, that is it for today's roundup. With the C word and the F word, I hope not too many of you have gotten upset, but we are living in crazy times now, people. So take care and good luck with your research, and let me know in the comments below any of your thoughts on these topics. If you liked this video, make sure that you hit the thumbs up and hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any future videos. I hope that you are having a good one, whatever you are doing, and I will see you soon in my next video. Bye!